Okay, so hello, everyone. And thank you for coming to our last presentation. Thank you for that word. With Terry Barnett. And she's going to be talking about elementals. And Terry is one of our dear friends from the group. And her background, yes. And she used to be a teacher. Well, she still is a teacher. I guess once you're a teacher, always teacher, but she was teaching in the schools, mathematics and biology. And was it middle school? To middle school, which is a lot of patience. And she and her husband Gary have come up for this gathering, and we welcome you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all. So I just have to say, when when Donna and I spoke and she asked me if I was taking a session of the presentations, I said yes, I want to talk about the elementals. And then she told me that I would be following Peter. And then today I saw that I was also following Werner Schroeder. And I'm feeling a little bit like this might be an initiation. So that's right. I'm trusting the I am. I want to talk about the elementals because I feel a deep love for them, and have been feeling at least earth elementals and like garden fairies for many, many years before I learned about the elementals in the I am teachings. And when I learned about the I am teachings and elementals, I was delighted because it just made so much sense to me that, of course, God is in everything, everywhere. And I think I have a passion for the elementals because I think they're sort of forgotten. And that's the point for me to want to bring back that gratitude and love for them. I'm going to read an address from beloved Lord Maha Chohan and it's an excerpt from Dictations by the Ascended Masters, which was compiled by Werner Schroeder, called Working with the Elementals. This was from September 1953. Children, it has been a long journey. Ages and ages and ages have passed since you looked on the Father's face. Cycles of time have come and gone since the shining presence of the angelic host walked with men, since the devas and elementals in tree and flower and shrub were visible, and man knew angels and elementals as friends, and fellow workers on the path of evolution when he, man, was a bridge connecting the kingdom of the angels and the elemental kingdom in harmonious balance and love. We've come to the point now when religion and everyday life will again combine the three evolutions, which by the veil of Maya have been separated for countless centuries and are so little cognizant one of the other. Then through his own majestic higher self, mankind, evolving upon the planet, will be the open-ended Maltese cross of freedom, the perpendicular bar of which, reaching upward into the spiritual spheres, draws the power of the sacred fire through his body into the earth, anchoring that sacred fire therein for the redemption of the planet and its people. The crossbar representing his outstretched arms, joining the kingdoms of the angels and the elementals to the human evolution in beautiful and harmonious cooperation. I am one through whose body, through whose temple, comes the primal essence which represents all the energy used upon the planet Earth, both by the nature kingdom as well as mankind, through the silver cord that passes through men's minds and bodies. The opportunity has been assigned to me to present to you the part the elemental kingdom plays in your life and the part it will play in the worship of the future. What, you might say, has this to do with my own peace of mind, with my own home and affairs and my finances? Unfortunately, those thoughts and feelings arise because the self is the center of each one's world. Well, it has much to do. As you come to understand the overall universal purpose of life, you will also understand that in service you can render a balance for your misuse of energies in the past, and so more quickly be free. So you do have a personal interest in seeing the picture of the universal plan for the next 2,000 years. I shall try to show you how, through your own mind, you are also a magnetic power that invokes, draws, molds, and sustains elemental life, and in that you have the key to precipitation. It will be worth your while, therefore, to gather your senses, concentrate your energies for a moment, and have patience as I endeavor to give to you that which Lord Maitreya has suggested will be a part of the pattern in the release we are presently bringing to the shepherds of the race. Over our earth is the planetary silent watcher. The Elohim drew from his consciousness the exquisite perfection of our planet, fashioned it according to the size designated in the divine plan, and drawing the universal light from the heart of God by the magnetic pole of love, made this little planet to be the home of about 6 billion life streams. The elemental kingdom works upward from the tiniest intelligence, so small that millions of them would not take up a quarter of an inch of space, into the builders of form that create bodies for mankind. Next, they graduate into builders of form, then into nature divas who create mountains and cities, and later on they become Elohim, and finally may grow to be silent watchers of a planet, a universe, or a galaxy. You will see that my service, working closely with that of the elemental kingdom, is to train builders of form. In temples in the third sphere, where the beloved Venetian assists me, we teach elemental life to look upon a design, not as large as a planet, of course. We start with something very small, like the petals of a flower or a blade of grass, a dewdrop, or a snowflake. We, or one of the builders of form who is a guardian in one of the temples, makes a design, externalize it in the atmosphere before him, and all the elementals in the class endeavor to embody a like form. They try to imitate that figure in shape, color, and design. Some of them are very grotesque at first, dear little beings, as they can hold the picture for scarcely a second at a time when they resume their ordinary shape, but they are in school, and finally there comes a time when they can embody the form of, let us say, an apple blossom. The teacher in the temple then notifies the nature divas that there's a group of elemental beings ready to become the blossoms on an apple tree in someone's orchard. Simple. And yet think of the centuries of training and self-control on the part, not only of the elementals themselves, but of the teacher. Finally, you have a lovely pink and white spring. The apple blossom smells so sweet, and the lovers of spring enjoy walking under the bowers of their beauty. The farmer has hope of a good crop in the autumn. The bees are happy as they make their honey, and the elemental is happy because he has fulfilled his purpose. Then the short season completed, the blossoms fall, and the elemental returns home for commendation, for rest, and reassignment. That is the work of the elementals. They are primarily mental beings. Elemental equals mind of God. Now, how does that relate to you? Human beings are a combination of the potential powers of both the elemental and the angel. First, they have a body, mind, which is elemental, which is able to receive an idea, not so well able to hold it, however, without allowing the effluvia of earth to sweep it from the mind before precipitation occurs. But they have the potential. And one day, through the magnetic power of the sacred fire, every man will draw the elemental life around a form, a beautiful idea which he might receive from the presence, whether it be a poem, a piece of music, or some so-called practical manifestation, which he thinks will make life happier in the world of form. And if he can do as well as the little elemental who makes the apple blossom, he will be well on the way to precipitation. In addition, man possesses a feeling faculty, the angelic quality. An idea made up of mind stuff must be filled with the feeling from the heart, which is the angelic, before it can take form. You may invoke the assistance of the angels here. Saint Germain told you, thoughts become things when clothed in feeling. The evolution of the angels I shall leave to beloved Lord Michael, and he will endeavor in his presentation to bring you their part in the great scheme of creation. Blessed ones, this endeavor is primarily to show you that the elemental kingdom must learn the control of energy through thought, to hold a constructive pattern and design so that you and other people among mankind may enjoy the perfection we design in the nature temples: an apple, a pear, a peach, a grape. Think of the energy and thought that goes into the creation of that and the sustaining of it. Now, for instance, in your worship of the future, in the worship even of the present, it is the elementals who build the beautiful forms. I am interested particularly in the chalice, the raising of the cup when you individually meet your God. The elemental beings within the room create out of your upraised thought and prayers a chalice. They embody it with their own life. Sometimes this chalice is larger than the building. I've seen it in cities where blessed souls gather, almost 1,000 feet across at the lip. And that is created by the elementals, who come and make the receptacle into which the spiritual force may be poured and focused. They create the chalice, then your own energies piercing through in your calls for love or peace or for healing, whatever the requirement may be, open the floodgates. The masters of light bring the release, and through their own bodies, fill your cups individually. Then come the great angelic host, who dip into the large chalice of spiritual force, made up of the combined energies of the assembled worshipers and masters. And after each angel in the group is filled to the point of saturation, they carry that radiation and with it blanket your city. Do you see? The three kingdoms working together as they did in Lemuria, on Atlantis, and as they do in God's kingdom, shall do so again on earth through you and others like you. If we can fire you with enough enthusiasm for our design and plan to be willing to leave your separate selves and come into oneness in service. One of the Zarathustra said, and it was repeated by Nietzsche in his works, that man is a bridge and not a goal, a dangerous crossing, a dangerous looking backward and a dangerous looking downward. That is true. You are a bridge between the two kingdoms, the elemental which responds to your every thought, making a flower or serpent, and the angelic that responds to the happiness in your feelings, externalizing and amplifying every happy feeling you have and carrying it to the places where it's needed most. You, the human kingdom, are the bridge. You are Saint Germain's legion in action. I am the life behind my son. I am the fire of the Holy Spirit that through the seventh ray will manifest upon this planet Earth such glory as it's never been known before. This I promise you, because you have come, because you have chosen to ponder my words, and by your presence within this room and other rooms like this, dedicated to God's love, you have chosen to be a comfort to life. I bless you exceedingly for this. I stand by you with you and shall, with every cell and atom of my being, endeavor to create that cosmic comfort and ever be that presence upon whose bosom you may rest your weary head, feeling my arms about you, never giving censure or blame, giving you comfort always, as well as strength and understanding, illumination and freedom. That is, if you want me, for none of us may come unless we are invited. I hope that I have perhaps shown you something of the service of the elemental kingdom, which has been so badly treated by mankind, because unless mankind will arise and give a blessing to the elemental kingdom, Mankind are going to pass through some very unhappy experiences. I love you, blessed ones, for your fidelity through the years. I love you for the enthusiasm which has made this new endeavor now worldwide, and I love you for your selfless service to God. Beloved friends, accept now the love of one who has given you your breath. One day, when your journey is completed, I shall stand by your side and accept your final breath. So never fear the change and transition which men call death. For when your call comes to return the breath, I shall be waiting to receive it, and you shall pass through in honor and dignity, with the dove still above your head, into the halls of karma, there to receive your wreath of victory. I thank you and I bless you. Maha Chohan.
Thank you.
Now we're going to watch a video from Maria Julia and beloved Roxanne speaking.
The control of the elements by the great beings in charge of the 4 elements: fire, air, water, earth. (1958), first edition. Gratitude to the Elementals, a poem. Sylphs of Aries, beings of the air, purifying substance for all life to share. Through the air so gently do you float along, in God's light so sweetly singing freedom's song. For your loving service, grateful are we all. Blessings on thee now sincerely do we call. Precious little gnomes and beings of the earth, may you feel God's freedom in all light's rebirth. We call love's forgiveness from God's loving heart. As in sunlight dancing, you're of life a part. Gnomes and nature spirits, elves and fairies too, violet fire shall bless you for your service true. We call forth assistance for all undines dear, purifying water for all mankind here. Helios and Vesta, send thy help this hour, transmuting wrong causes with thy loving power. Lord Maha Chohan, we all do humbly pray, raise all elemental life forever to stay. Blessed salamanders from the heart of light, elemental beings of God's fire so bright. We are all so grateful for God's gift of fire. Heaven's peace enfolds all now as they aspire from discordant action to now be set free, as man now decides to live in purity. Sylphs and gnomes and undines, salamanders too, violet fire to set you free, we call for you. Blessed little beings, your release shall come through our love and gratitude for all you've done. God's great power shall bless you with his love so dear, and will ever sustain you till earth's crystal clear. Introduction. The knowledge and control of the four elements and their inhabitants is part of the training of the Chela. He should know the good uses to which these elements and their inhabitants, elementals, can be put to, and also the distortion of their expression through the wrong qualification of mankind. The fire element is the most important of the four, as it is an expression of the sacred fire from which the violet flame and all other flames proceed. One of its constructive activities in the physical plane is that of purification through the incineration of rubbish and the human bodies, which allow the elements to return to the sun for repolarization. Its destructive activity is shown in the burning of buildings and woods, also in thunderstorms and in the use of firearms, bombs, etc. The air element is also very important for the maintenance of life in the physical plane, as without air, people cannot live for any length of time. By conscious control of the breath, you can not only harmonize your bodies, making them better temples of the living God, I am, but you can purify your surroundings. Its beneficent activity is seen in the warm and cool breezes wherever they are required. They are also the means of propelling boats and ships on oceans and rivers, as well as airplanes. We see its destructive activity in cyclones and thunderstorms. The water element is related to the emotional body, and the purification of it results in the purification of this body. In the physical plane, it is a great cleansing agent and one of the factors for the balancing of the weather conditions and the production of harvests. Its destructive activity shown in floods, droughts, and wrecks at sea in which men and animals perish. That this element, like all others, can be controlled was manifested by the ascended Master Jesus when he stilled the waters in the turbulent waters in the Sea of Galilee. The earth element is vital for the production of food, so that mankind can build perfect bodies, which are the outposts on earth of the spiritual and cosmic activities. We see its beneficent action in the beautiful landscapes, in the bird life, in the flowers, in the beautiful minerals, and of course, in the production of harvests. Its destructive action is shown in the landslides, volcanoes, and earthquakes. The daily purification of the elements and the cultivation of the friendship of the elementals as a prerequisite of the Chela. Hence the importance of the wise selection of the words of the Ascended Masters and cosmic beings, and the corresponding decrees contained in these pages meant for daily reading and application. Thomas Prince, the Ascended Master, El Moira. Preface by Beloved Claire, Elohim of Purity. I bring the full gathered cosmic momentum of my purity to you, to all mankind, and to the elements which have served mankind through the ages. Do you know the only discomfort in the world comes from lack of purity in one of the four lower bodies? We are endeavoring to anchor now the purifying energy into the elements which have served mankind. This will release these elements from the resentments and rebellions against their tormentors, undisciplined human beings. It will also open the outer mind to a greater realization of truth and begin the restoration of the divine atmosphere in which there is no veil of Maya hiding the glory of the angels, the ascended ones, and all who are assisting the race. If the mental body is not purified, it cannot receive the perfect design from the Godhead or the Masters, nor can it manifest the strength to hold that design against the disintegrating forces of doubt, fear, ridicule, and the many other negative qualities that always endeavor to destroy a constructive pattern. If the emotional body is not purified, the idea and pattern will be so tinged with selfishness and personal ambition that the beautiful design again loses much of its perfection and efficacy. If the etheric body is not purified, the failure of the past will neutralize and often destroy the form before it can be externalized as a blessing for all life. I ask you to call for the law of forgiveness for all your misuse of life through the ages, and to accept my gift of purity, so that you can see, know, and become an expression of your own individualized I Am presence and a holy grail, receiving into your outer mind the divine idea from the presence, which you can, through your purified creative centers of thought and feeling, externalize for your own blessing, for the expansion of this activity, and for the benefication of your fellow man.
To transcend all earthly strife, now be set free, as men now decrease to live in purity. Sylphs and gnomes and unbeaten salamanders too, violet fire to set you free, we call for you. Blessed little beings, your release shall come, through our love and gratitude for all you've done. God's own power, I am bless you with his love so dear, and will ever sustain you till it's crystal clear.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
That's marvelous. I love that video. This is another excerpt from Electrons and the Elemental Kingdom from the Bridge to Freedom material, mankind's relationship to the kingdom of nature. Nature never produced anything that would be destructive to mankind, but as it is the duty of the elemental life to obey the commands of individuals endowed with the threefold flame in their hearts, they have been absorbing mankind's discordant thoughts and feelings. This has caused tornadoes, hurricanes, tidal waves, earthquakes, and disasters of nature, which is merely an endeavor by the beings of these elementals to throw off the impurity and discord which man has imposed upon them for millions of years. The waste matter that has been put into the earth and the waters and the impure energy that goes into the air has caused a pressure of human creation, not only on man, but on the elemental kingdom. The destructive activities of nature can be controlled by mankind who understand the law and understand how to make the call to release the elemental beings from the discord imposed upon them. Verna talked earlier about how the Philadelphia group, I believe it was, actually decreed enough energy to stop a volcano from doing great damage. One can call to the I Am presence and to the masters and beings in charge of that element and who govern such activities to direct into and enfold the conditions in their cosmic flame and transmute all discord and flood them with cosmic love, which is our theme. Then visualize the violet flame going forth from your presence and the great beings transmuting the discord into peace and harmony. Next, see the pink flame of love enfold the beings of the elements, making them again happy and free. Wise is he who will earnestly endeavor to purify his own world and make friends with the little beings of nature, pouring love, gratitude, and blessings to these beings who so ceaselessly and selflessly serve mankind if he wishes protection in times of crisis. The elemental kingdom must learn control of energy through thought to hold a constructive pattern and design so that you and all people may enjoy the perfection designed in the nature temples. The angelic kingdom must learn to control the use of their feelings, to hold within themselves the virtue they have chosen until directed to release it to one in need of it. Man must learn control of both and thus become a master. It is time that mankind recognize this service and send to both the elemental kingdom and the angelic kingdom the recognition and love which they deserve for their constant service to mankind. Without the elemental kingdom, there would be no form. Think about that. Anywhere. Without the angelic kingdom, man could not draw the blessings of God. And I'm gonna skip that video and I'm just gonna finish with this. I thought it was appropriate for this gathering because it's called Love. It's another address by the beloved Maha Chohan and an excerpt again from the Electrons and Elemental Kingdom. Have you thought in your seemingly arduous journey through the world of form how much you are loved? From the moment you were called forth from the heart of the one God, love has sustained you. Love has created out of the electronic light body of God himself the electronic form of your own I am presence. Love has drawn forth for you the substance of the elemental kingdom, which has made up an emotional body by which you might feel the harmony, beauty, love, and every other good feeling which is that of nature. Love is fashioned from the elemental substance, a mental form, by which you can receive the ideas of the universal and fashion for yourself an individual world, peopling it according to free will. Love has drawn for you an etheric envelope into which you can and have recorded the experiences in the use of energy and vibration. Love has drawn the physical atoms of this world, creating the physical body which you wear and use so freely. All of this electronic light substance is intelligent, free life that chose to forego its happiness in realms of perfection for the questionable opportunity of making garments for your souls and spirits. Love from the heart of the directors of the elements, the builders of form, and the kingdom of nature fashioned this planet, a platform upon which your feet might stand. Fresh water, the pristine air you breathe so freely, the glorious firmament with the blue sky of day and the star-studded mantle of God at night to give you rest and opportunity to refresh yourselves in your journey through the world of form. From the kingdom of nature, love has drawn the tiny elemental forms and trained them to embody themselves in flower, tree, shrub, grass, and the very substance that through nature nourishes your physical garment and by its beauty stimulate your spiritual nature to remembrance of the glory you had with the Father even before this world was. It is through love that the angels are kept in the atmosphere of this earth, where pain and distress exist, when they might know the joy and happiness of the heavenly realms, where there is no distress or sorrow. The sustaining power of this outpouring and teaching is love. This is done that there may be upon earth centers where the sacred fire of creation is drawn and radiated into the emotional, mental, etheric, and physical strata into which the masters and angels may come, and into which your weary souls may enter and find renewed vitality and spiritual enthusiasm. Within each one of you, dear children, is love which responds to these words of mine, and overcoming the pressure of your individual worlds helps you to lift your thoughts and hearts to me. I am with you. I am loving you. Free will is yours, beloved. See only love and see only the Christ in each other. Be assured that I see in you only that constant shining light that beats your hearts.